The Indiana Fever get the revenge in another close game between the Indiana Fever and the Atlanta Dream. Back-to-back games went down to the wire. The first game we know was 91-90 with the Indiana Fever coming back. This game, the Atlanta Dream jumped out on top, but the Indiana Fever were able to gain control and kind of had momentum throughout the entire game. And then the Atlanta Dream was playing comeback in this game, but they ended up losing to the Indiana Fever. Now, I want to say I think this is going to be the real rivalry. I know people like to talk about the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever due to Caitlin Clark, due to Angel Reese, but the real rivalry is the two former number one overall picks in Caitlin Clark and Rhyne Howard. This is a real rivalry. Every time these two go at it, it's fireworks. Every time these two go at it, it's competition. And these two women are both extremely talented. They have the game to match up and should have the hypeness that you would like to see for the marketability that the WNBA promotes, instead of so much when we talk about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, even though they have the marketability and they bring a lot of attention. But for its real rivalries, for its real big time moments, big time plays, big time bucket getters, big time players that can hit big shots and have big moments, this is a future rivalry, I believe, between the Indiana Fever and the Atlanta Dream. And Rhyne Howard, she came tonight and she played extremely, extremely well. And what I love about her is that she's one of the purest scorers in the WNBA. She's only 25 years old. Once again, she's a former number overall pick too. Like, she was 2022 number one overall pick. Caitlin Clark was the 2024 number one pick. So when we talk about like potential rivalries and we talk about the game and the growth and the elevation of the WNBA, when you look at some of these players that are in today's game right now, the league is in such great hands. And when we talk about not just Caitlin Clark, when we talk about or Angel Reese, or we talk about all these rest of these girls in that class, Rakia Jackson, but we got Juju, we got Paige, we got Flage coming, we got Rhyne Howard who's arrived. Like, the game is about to grow tremendously because these ladies that are in the game right now, their game is more modernized. When you watch Rhyne Howard play, you see the shot making ability. She needs to still develop. And when we talk about getting to the rim and adding more muscle, but the shot making ability, the creation ability is there. She's one of the purest 3-point shooters in the league. And also, she is a snout defender. She's one of the best perimeter defenders in the league right now. She takes the assignment. She took on the assignment to guard Caitlin Clark. She was making things difficult for Caitlin Clark. They even got into it, and I'm going to show on stream, they got into it, and I love the reaction from Caitlin Clark, but I also love the competitiveness between both these players. As you can see, Caitlin Clark going at it, her and Rhyne Howard after the bump, and she's smiling. We know Caitlin Clark's always going to smile. Look at this. And I like this. I love this. I love this. Rhyne Howard gets up in Caitlin Clark's grill. She bumps her. She bumps back. She looks. She's saying she's not scared. And I love that energy because it lets me know that Caitlin Clark is not dealing with none of that bully shit anymore. You're not going to be able to bully Caitlin Clark. She's added on muscle. She has that confidence. She knows that it's her league, and she knows she's the face of the league, but she's not going to be intimidated by anybody. And I love her standing her ground and being like, I'm not going to get myself into a flagrant, but you're not about to punk me either. Like, even that hard foul on Angel Reese that everybody was talking about, standing up for her teammates. This is a new Caitlin Clark. This is a Caitlin Clark that this is year 2. This is not rookie Caitlin Clark. She's not taking none of that bullshit that she took in her rookie season. But watching her and Rhyne Howard battle and go out on the court each of these past 2 games was very exciting. It was very fun to watch. And Caitlin Clark struggled. She struggled this game. She was in foul trouble very early. Had a lot of shooting. Her shooting wasn't up to par, and she was just struggling more than we've seen. This is probably one of Caitlin Clark's worst games as a a pro so far in her young, early WNBA career. And I don't know if it was because of foul trouble. I don't know if it was like the mental aspect. I don't know if it was like the early on situation with her and Rhyne Howard, because both of those two admire each other off the court and they are friends off the court. And they have a lot of competitiveness while they're on the court. There's no friends on the court. Off the court is a different story. On the court, we're here to go to war. We're here to battle. But she's 0 for 5 from the three-point line. And it just seems like she didn't really have the type of game that we are accustomed to seeing from Caitlin Clark. Even when we talk about the passing ability, like she had one beautiful pass to Natasha Howard, who Natasha Howard showed up this game after only having 6 points the last game. Natasha Howard, I think she had 26 points. She also rebounded the ball very well. She was the only one that really showed up. Kelsey Mitchell shot the ball very poorly, 17 points, but hit a clutch bucket when we're down late to kind of not down late. I think they were up like 2 to put the Fever up by 4, I believe. Kelsey Mitchell, who I believe still is the Indiana Fever's closer. When you need a big shot, when you need a big moment, you put the ball in Kelsey Mitchell's hands, regardless of if she's 3 for 20. That next shot has a chance to go in because she's such a pure hooper. She's a pure scorer. So this game was a gritty game, a defensive style game. Caitlin Clark didn't really have as impactful of a game that we have grown accustomed to seeing. The physical defense kind of bothered her, and that's what teams are going to do. They're going to get up in Caitlin Clark. They're going to try to pressure her. They're going to try to foul her. They're going to try to hit her. And some nights the referees are going to call it. Some nights the referees aren't going to call it. We saw the last game with the Indiana Fever how that physical defense and the contact that she was receiving, well, Stephanie White was putting her in motion action. She was putting her in, allowing her to screen, allowing her to come off screens, also being a decoy for the first screen and then coming off a second screen when Aaliyah Boston will come or Natasha Howard will come and set a screen for, like using her a lot with the screen action. We didn't really see much of that in this game. Maybe that was because Caitlin Clark was in foul trouble. Maybe that was because that she just didn't have it going the way that she normally has it going. But she did struggle with the physicality in this game. And it's going to be interesting because this is something that we've seen last year a little bit, but Caitlin Clark has more muscle. She has more confidence. I don't think it's going to be too much worry going forward. It's just some nights it's not going to be your night. But I will say, watching this game, you have to be happy. You have to feel good as a Indiana Fever fan, because last year the Indiana Fever wouldn't have won this game. When Kelsey Mitchell struggled, when Caitlin Clark struggled, they would either get blown out or they would lose. So you see two of your best players, like Aaliyah Boston, struggled. She had 6 points, I think 1 for 7 from the field. When you see your three best players struggle and you're still able to win a game, that lets me know that the Indiana Fever have a special team, have a team that potentially can do some great things, because you're able to win games without your big three showing up. Just like the big three showed up last game, but the others didn't really show up as much as they should. We saw Natasha Howard had 6 points this game. Well, the big three didn't show up, but the others did show up. And the others was Sophia Cunningham, who played 20 minutes and had 9 points and had 2 threes. Big time minutes, made big time shots, also played great defense. And the other was Lexi Hull, who had 10 points, also had 2 threes as well. That's 19 points off your bench from those two ladies, the snipers, the floor spacers. And I'm going to say this, and I don't want people to get mad, but DeWanna Bonner, the first 3 games of the regular season, I was worried. I was talking about this on stream a little bit in the preseason, how I believe that DeWanna Bonner, as great as she is, she's a legend. She has to come off the bench. You have to save her into the playoffs late in the season. She does not need to start in the regular season. She needs to be getting anywhere between 18 to 24 minutes per game. I think she only had 19 minutes this game, but she needs to come off the bench. You need to start Sophia Cunningham. You need to start either Sophia Cunningham or Lexi Hull, and DeWanna Bonner come off the bench. And maybe if you allow her to come off the bench a little bit, you allow her to get in her rhythm. You allow her to possibly run the offense through her so she can get maybe some easier opportunities or looks. But right now, she shouldn't be a starter. And I've been saying that for a minute when we talk about DeWanna Bonner since the preseason. She's 37 years old. That's what people got to understand. Like, she's not in her prime anymore. She's still going to be a vital piece for this Indiana Fever team this year in some form of capacity because she still can play. But right now, I just don't think she should be a starter, especially when we talk about the long regular season. But for the Indiana Fever to win a game without Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston playing well, you used to pray for times like this, like Meek Mill says, as an Indiana Fever fan. That means they got pieces. That means they got bodies. That means they got people that can actually come out and be a positive asset when your key players aren't thriving, aren't producing, or just having simply an awful night. But this was a great game to watch. And even you think about some of the players for the Atlanta Dream, they weren't. Brittany Griner had 5 points, was in foul trouble. Alyssa Gray, who is a 2-time All-Star, who played really well Tuesday night. She didn't really play well tonight. And Rhyne Howard showed up, of course, who it was beautiful to watch, to be honest. Rhyne Howard is very, very special. And I'm going to say it again. This is the real rivalry. The rivalry with Rhyne Howard, Caitlin Clark, both former number 1 overall picks. Every time these two women step on a basketball court. Remember last year, Rhyne Howard gave them a 36-piece to end the game, to end the regular season. These are two women that have that competitive in nature and also have that like competition for us. Like, oh, you the number 1 overall pick? I'm the number 1 overall pick. It's like, oh, you get a lot of hype, you get a lot of buzz, Caitlin Clark, great, but I can pack that thing too. I can shoot that thing too. I can defend at a high level too. And going forward, I believe this is going to be a big-time rivalry between the Atlanta Dream and Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Paul says, White sucks, mentions a ball hog. White can't coach. Caitlin fire right, bring styles back. What are we doing? Come on, Paul, relax. Come on, we got to relax. Like, this is just one game because Stephanie White has done an excellent job so far in this season. But especially when we talk about the ball screens and putting Caitlin Clark in actions the last game when they are getting more physical, when they're face guarding Caitlin Clark 90 feet, when they're blitzing. We didn't see size do any of that. If you watch the last game against Atlanta Dream, we didn't see size really do anything besides just rely on Caitlin Clark 24/7. In some games, you're not going to be able to just rely on Caitlin Clark. As we saw tonight, Caitlin Clark got in foul trouble. Caitlin Clark was struggling with her shooting. Caitlin Clark kind of let the defense of the physical defense of the Atlanta Dream kind of get into her head and kind of just didn't have the great game that we're accustomed to seeing with Caitlin Clark. And they were still able to win. They were still able to go off and win this game with Natasha Howard playing well, with their addition of Sophia Cunningham, with Lexi Hull doing a great job defensively and making key threes as well. So we can't just sit up and say that, White needs to go. Let's not stop. Let's stop the nonsense. White is a championship coach. White is a coach that also, when we talk about defense, the Indiana Fever are playing much more better defense in these past 3 games that I've seen them play the entire regular season last year. And that philosophy is what Styles really brings. That's her bread and butter as well. I just hope she doesn't get too caught up in having DeWanna Bonner based on her relationship and that personal over that professionalism that sometimes tends to blend and can cause issues, because DeWanna Bonner is solid. DeWanna Bonner is good, but I've been saying it, I'm going to keep saying it, I don't believe that she should be starting for this team. And it just goes to show. And then also they play the Liberty this upcoming weekend, so that's going to be the real test when we talk about coaching, when we talk about this team, seeing if they're going to be a legitimate testing themselves early, seeing if they're going to be a legitimate contender, seeing if they're going to be a team that is going to be able to compete with the Minnesota Lynx, compete with the Las Vegas Aces, compete with the New York Liberty. This is going to be an early season test with the Indiana Fever because now you got players, now you got a roster that doesn't always have to rely on Caitlin Clark to have big games to win games. Now you have where Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark, if they have off nights, you're still able to be in games. You're still able to win games because you have more talent. Natasha Howard is a stud. She is the one that she's the key piece for the Indiana Fever. Also with the bench players with the addition, of Sophia Cunningham and also Lexi Hull, both of these women are floor spacers. Both of these women can defend the perimeter. We haven't even tapped the surface level of potential of what the Indiana Fever can be because right now everything is kind of mixy. These rotations are longer, and right now Stephanie White is sticking with DeWanna Botter because there's some rotations that we can see that we haven't even got into. We haven't seen a rotation where we're playing 4 out 1 in with Natasha Howard as a 5 or Aaliyah Boston the 5, and you got Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, Sophia Cunningham, Caitlin Clark, and you got a big man in. We haven't seen that type of spacing. You can go 1-4 flat, pick and roll with Natasha Howard, pick and roll with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark either gets to the rim or if they go under the screen, they're shooting or blitzing and they're passing into one of the wings and kicking it out for the open 3. It's so much potential that we can see with these lineups that I hope Stephanie White, once the season gets going, starts to play and toy with, because when the playoffs come around, you're going to have different lineups against different teams. You're going to have to be able to play different matchups and have different styles. And that was something they struggled last year, especially in the playoffs. Coral White says she was playing a different position today. Who's playing a different position today, White? Are you talking about Caitlin Clark? Because she wasn't playing on different positions. She just wasn't really involved as much as far as having the ball in her hands and also the foul trouble. Steve says Tosh played an awesome night. Natasha Howard is special. She's that big that can run the floor, that can play defense, that can shoot at the second level in the basketball court, that can rebound. She does a lot of great things. Clark should be a bench player for the Fever. That's nonsense. I don't know. We're not. CC. I just talked about it a little bit. I don't think CC played a different role, to be honest. It's just that they were physical with her. They were face guarding her. They were aggressive. They were switching ball screens. They was doing a lot of different things that makes your best player kind of like, when you're having a difficult night. And also Caitlin Clark, she was getting fouled. She was struggling from the free throw line. Caitlin Clark shooting like 79% from the free throw line this year. She was a 91% free throw shooter last year. And I know it's only 3 games, of course, but she hasn't been the same from the free throw line. If they would have lost this game by a few points, I kind of would have been on Caitlin Clark because Caitlin Clark went to the line late more than anybody. So, but yeah, I don't know what NBA – I don't know, natural beauty tea. I don't know what they talking about. Clark should be a bench player. What's wrong? I don't know. People just hating. I think he's trolling or whatever. But Caitlin Clark is going to be fine. You're not going to always – people got to understand, when you play basketball, and I was a former college basketball player, it's just like when you have a season, you're going to have some nights where you don't play well. You're going to have some nights where the it's just not your night. But when you're the best player – on your team, when you're the best player in the world, when you're a top 5 basketball player, you want to just make sure that majority of the nights and 90% of the nights that you are playing, that you are producing. And that's what we see with Caitlin Clark. So if it's a 42-game regular season, she may have 3 or 4 games that she's not playing well. But that doesn't mean that the rest of those other 39 games is just like, all right, she's dominant. So that it just happens. But when you have a great team around you, getting the dub, if you ask Caitlin Clark, if the post-game locker room, she's going to say, I got to play better. I struggle, but I'm happy that my team was able to pick up the slack, and I'm going to be better. But that's what we having a great team around us. And shout out to the team, our team, because they were able to pull through even when I was struggling. That's her response. I feel bad for CC Go to Europe. WNBA doesn't have your back, and it's sad only watch to see her play, but I'm not dealing with this the way they treat her. I mean, well, get over it. It's like when heavy. What is it? Heavy is the burden to the one that wears the crown. Is that something they say? What is it? Heavy is the head who something. It's an old school saying, but it's a. And I'm gonna end it off of this. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get up out of here. It's a reason why LeBron James posted that picture with Caitlin Clark. It's a reason why LeBron James tweets and shout outs Caitlin Clark. It's not just because they're part of the Nike family. LeBron James, to me personally, everybody got their own opinion. LeBron James is the GOAT in my eyes because we never seen a player enter a league with so much expectation, so much pressure, so much responsibility. And not only was the pressure to be a first ballot Hall of Famer and to be a top 10 basketball player of all time, not only did he come in the league and he matched those expectations, but he exceeded those expectations. So he can relate to a Caitlin Clark who's coming into a league that has a lot of responsibility to help grow the league, to help push the league into the new heights, have a lot of people that also do not like her simply just because of the expectations that she has, her game, and everything that she has to carry. Similar to LeBron James. People didn't like LeBron James because of the expectations he has and the game that he had, and people wanted him to fail. People want Caitlin Clark to fail. But greatness recognizes greatness. So that's why when I say baby GOAT, Caitlin Clark, because she's coming in with not just the game, but also all the outside pressure. And it's like, damn if she do, damn if she don't. But real recognize real, because when you have that level of responsibility, when you have those expectations, people can respect it, especially if they've been in your shoes. So when we see Caitlin Clark and you see some of the things that she goes through on the basketball court, off the basketball court, it's okay because it's beautiful to have pressure. Because if you don't have pressure, that means you're not doing something right. And Caitlin Clark has that pressure. And that means she's doing something right. And she's taking the game to new heights. But the beauty of this is that with Caitlin Clark being so great, with Caitlin Clark, selling out attendance in arenas, all the eyes are on the WNBA and the product. And you are seeing now how talented the league is, especially for the casual consumer of the WNBA and people that are new to the WNBA. They're seeing and they're witnessing how great these players are. And it's beautiful to see that the game is going to get modernized. And I see every other day or every other week that Caitlin Clark is breaking some type of record. Or even like Paige Beckers broke some type of record. First rookie for 3 games, 15, 5, and 5. And I'm going to be honest with you. Caitlin Clark going to break a lot of records. So is Juju Watkins. So is Paige Beckers. So is So is Rhyne Howard. So all these modernized women. The game is about to get modernized in the WNBA. It's about to become more talented, more skilled. These players are just better. And we're going to look back in the next probably 5 to 10 years. We're really Caitlin Clark's era, and we're going to see and compare it to the past. We're going to be like, yeah, they were cold, they were good, but they're not like these players. And in that, we're kind of seeing that with some of these records. It's like, damn, Caitlin Clark broke a record after 8 games. Caitlin Clark is possibly going to be the triple-double leader after her second season in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark's tied already for 20 and 10 games. You get what I'm saying? So, and that's not me trying to throw shade or shots at the WNBA at all. But it's just the truth. When we talk about it, it's like a lot of great things that are going to happen in these stats and these records, and the WNBA becoming more modernized is going to be because of Caitlin Clark's era. And that's great because those women are going to get paid. They're going to get more money, but also the product on the basketball court is so much better. So, but last but not least, I just want to say this again, that Rhyne Howard is in Caitlin Clark. Every time they play, please watch because it's must-see TV, and that is a real rivalry. That is a real rivalry. Like I know people love Angel Reese, and they love Angel Reese for a lot of reasons. She has a lot of potential. Angel Reese has to continue to work on her game. She had 2 points tonight versus New York Liberty. Her game has not developed since last year. And I know she was in the gym some. She's working with Lisa Leslie, but she has a lot to improve on to be that 20 and 10, which I believe her peak can be if she works on her game, if she develops. But she has a long way to go. But I'm tired of people talking about a rivalry. The only rivalry that we see for is young talent right now with Caitlin Clark. Every time they play and it's a matchup and the game is electric and they're going tit for tat, is Rhyne Howard on the Atlanta Dream and Caitlin Clark on the Indiana Fever. We have to focus on the production, the on-court stuff. All the other fluff, all the other nonsense, all the other things is good for the league for marketability and merchandise sales, and that's great. That's fine. And when we talk about the viewership, that's cool. Clap it up. But what you do on the basketball court is eventually going to catch up to all the rest of that nonsense, because if you're not producing, if you're not hooping, if people aren't watching games and seeing one player produce another player produce, and if things are one-sided, then all that other stuff people are going to stop. They're going to stop caring about. So that's what I'm saying. A real rivalry is when two people going at it, going to war every single time, the competitiveness, the box score matches the eye test, and it's a war. It's not one player doing all of the heavy lifting and another player has all of the media darlingness and media likability, and the media like, oh, well, they did this and they did that, and the viewership, and oh, it's a foul, let's blow it up and talk about it's a race war and all these narratives. And we see NFL analysts talking about showing their wives and kids and going off on each other. That's not what it's about. It's not what it's about. Now, I'm going to say this again. If you're making certain situations in the WNBA just about narratives, just about headlines, just about politics, race, all those things, that's corny to me. Yes, you can talk about it. Yes, you can debrief it. You can discuss it. Yes, you can even analyze it when it's certain things that are in the moment. But what matters the most and will forever matters, and that's why we have platforms like this, chat. What matters is the on-court basketball production. That's what matters the most. Basketball is basketball. Andreas, women's basketball sucks. It's not even about the game anymore. You can tell half of these chicks are jealous of one player instead of worrying about them. Sad refs don't do shit. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's a woman saying this. It's like the game doesn't suck. The WNBA product is very great. It's improving. It's growing. Certain teams are better than certain teams. Certain players are better than the other players. But it is too much off the court nonsense. And the league is growing. And when the league grows, that means it's more trolls, it's more eyes, and people have to stop making excuses and actually talk about what matters the most, which is basketball itself. Just block the trolls more than mom. I agree. Natasha and Sophia, man, such a good pickup. Art, I agree. CG was often that happens every once in a while. Hope the team enough to get the W. Yes, that's what matters. It happens once every while. As long as you're playing 90% of your games on that you're rocking, you're the producing, that's all that matters. So you have those, 3-4 games where you're not, that's nobody's gonna remember them. But I really appreciate y'all for hopping in the chat, man. It's your boy Ma K. Smith. For you are new to my streams, my name's Ma K. Smith. Once again, used to work for the NBA, used to work for the Brooklyn Nets, used to serve as Slam Magazine's first NBA analyst, had my own podcast interviewing players like Kendrick Perkins, Tracy McGrady, all these other, executives and beat writers and things of that nature. Right now, I'm a freelance analyst right now, keyword, but I'm still building out my platforms. For us is YouTube, talking basketball, love streaming. Also am a children's book author, 2 books out, Becoming Basketball and also Becoming Kobe Bryant by Ma K. Smith. You got a niece, you got a kid, you got a nephew, whatever the case, a younger brother, younger sister. If you want to purchase those, I really appreciate that. But follow me on all the social media platforms, AKIS NBA, constantly talking about the NBA, constantly talking about the WNBA. And I really appreciate y'all, man. And I'm gone. Peace. Also, I always leave y'all with this. Also, last thing, SGA should have been back-to-back MVP. And that speech that he did thanking his wife was beautiful. But I want to say SGA took a college team for the past 2 years and led them to the best record in the Western Conference. Now he's in the now he's on his way to possibly going to the NBA Finals. Pure hooper, a calm hooper, guy that plays at his own pace, never in a hurry, always on the right time, plays defense. People like to talk about him and his fouls and him drawing fouls or flopping. Drawing fouls is a skill. He does it exceptionally well. He's averaged 9 free throw attempts this past regular season. His guys has averaged more than won the MVP. But if he goes off and wins this NBA championship, and I don't know if he's going to do it, but if he does and wins Finals MVP, this will be the first time in the NBA where we see a guy that won the MVP championship and potential Finals MVP since 2013 LeBron James. And if he wins a championship with the Oklahoma City Thunder, he becomes arguably the greatest player to ever wear that jersey, because even though they have 3 MVPs in Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, and SGA now, none of those other 2 were able to capture and go off and win a championship, and both of them played on the same team. So if SGA goes out and does this, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it's going to be remarkable. It's going to be a moment. It's going to be something very, very special. Him winning this MVP was already very special, because of the fact of the matter is that they don't give Kobe disciples a lot of credit. History is not kind to Kobe disciples. History is not kind to elite scorers. History is not kind to mid-range assassins. So it's beautiful to have SGA win MVP. It will be beautiful to see him go out and capture a championship, because I'm not saying that he is a carbon copy of Kobe Bryant, but a disciple doesn't have to be a carbon copy. A disciple can have shades and elements of that player's game within their game, and that's what SGA has. So, once again, it's your boy, Ma K. Smith. Appreciate y'all. Gary in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Thomas in the chat. Paul in the chat. Frank in the chat. All y'all. Who else in the chat? Passenger, Morning Mom, Art, Andreas, Anthony, Randy, Cornwell, Wayne, Steve, Cassandra, GFM, Coral White, Beauty TV, Steve, again, Paul. I appreciate all y'all, man. Once again, your boy, Ma K. Smith. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not unto your own understanding, and always acknowledge him, but he will direct your path. Always remember, faith without works is dead. All my true tellers in the chat. Appreciate y'all again. I'm gone, man.